Halloween, 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 Monster Candy Podcast, yeah.
I was actually really impressed with that. I didn't know how you'd fit in, like, monster. I can't even do it because my voice is gone.
Monster Candy Podcast.
Sing us in.
God.
Introduce us
Oh
and sing
shit.
it.
This is Dominic.
I'm Dominic Davy. I'm not you. Lulu.
I am Dominic Davy. I'm crying. I'm drooling. Someone else do the intro.
Hi, this is Dominic Davy, the real one, and you're listening to Monster Candy Podcast.
We got a sweet tooth for horror movies, and we want to live deliciously.
Yeah, she might poop herself. I'm joined by
oh my god,
wrestler extraordinaire Shotzi Blackheart, who
oh my god,
just shit all over that intro, and
I can't breathe.
We're also
my
here
stomach
with
hurts from laughing so much.
the myth, the legend, the
Why
primetime
am I so
TV
funny?
special. God damn it. Screamin E from the Memphis Murder Men.
What's up, jerks?
All right.
Guys, why am I so funny?
I know.
I'm
it's
crying.
You know what? You are your own biggest
I
fan.
think I'm going crazy.
Yeah, I think you kind of lost it too.
Episode 21, Shotzi Blackheart loses her
I'm
mind.
crying.
You are. You have like straight up crazy giggles. Okay, calm down.
Okay.
And she's not even high this time.
Okay. Well, I don't get high.
I don't encourage those kinds of things. I'll
Yeah.
just dress like a penis in the wrestling ring and make people and teabag people from across the ring.
I'd teabag your mom.
She called and said
I'm
that
gonna
you never
throw
call her
up.
back. You never call her back.
I'm gonna throw up, guys.
Why are you gonna throw up?
Because we just had burritos.
Yeah,
And
they
I'm
were
laughing
good.
way too hard right now, and I can feel the burrito coming.
Well, welcome back, everybody, for another episode of Monster Candy Podcast. And as usual, it is descending into
Utter chaos.
utter chaos and hilarium. Please don't throw up on the
I
ground.
really feel like I'm gonna
Don't
Throw up, throw up, throw up, throw up. Let's get real G.G. Allen with this podcast.
Not on the microphone.
Suck my ass, it smells.
We're going to be talking about the brand
Suck my ass, it smells.
the brand new Halloween that just came out. You do look like you're gonna barf. Do you need a bag?
She's fine.
Here. If you have to throw up in this.
Okay,
Just not on my microphone.
thanks.
It's the only one I have.
Ugh.
Are you farting?
No.
No, she just shit her pants
Yeah.
for the second time.
All right.
Now there's 2 piles of shit.
Now that we've cured most of the audience of being attracted to her, what's going on? Yeah, this is what it's really like, folks.
Hey, wait, I have a question.
Okay, what's your question?
What's going on in horror news?
Oh, horror news! You know, my voice is... I gotta apologize to everyone before we dive into this. I lost my voice, was it a week ago now? Like, at Fest? 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago at Fest in Florida, where I ran into no one other than my fellow co-host over here, Shotzi Blackheart.
Hi, I was there.
In Gainesville. And I got to see her wrestle and win a wild man match. But I was cheering.
I'm the wild man!
You are.
I'm the wild man!
Yeah. We're so proud. But yeah, I lost my voice, so that's why I sound like this, everybody. I'm sorry. So, what are we talking about horror news first, E?
I think we should
Night of the Living
discuss
Dead.
the sequel to Night of the Living Dead that they've discovered after 40 years of sitting on it from the 70s.
Talk to me about
It's
this.
gotta be trash, right?
But, I'm curious about this because I honestly thought that they made a sequel, Dawn of the Dead, which is followed by Day of the Dead.
Well, I guess technically yes, but I think this one is supposed to be
Like is
like a direct sequel.
of like that people in that. Well, no one lived. Wait, did Barbara live? No
Harry
one
Potter lived. He was the boy that lived.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
Harry Potter.
Yeah, what a great, weird reference. You're a wizard, Harry.
Yeah.
So, tell me about this.
But they wrote it in this, I guess, I mean, what, 1970? So yeah, 2 years after the first one was supposed to take place.
Uh-huh.
By the original writers.
Okay.
So, I guess they're supposed to be putting it out in 2019.
Really?
From what the interwebs say.
Have they said anything about the story?
No, just that it's Night of the Living Dead Part 2.
That's awesome.
So we'll see.
Night of the Living Dead. Still night before dawn.
Yes.
So it's like
Or Night Again.
part 1B,
Yeah.
part 2A. That's cool.
Yeah,
I'm
we'll
actually
see.
stoked about that. So was Dawn of the Dead not written by the same people? Was that new writers that got brought in? Or was it written by them too? They just, maybe this was rejected.
Yeah, I think it's the original, like Russo
Very cool.
and whoever else.
I didn't really know that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be more excited about Russo's work if I didn't know that he had added those crap scenes to the 30th anniversary.
Hey man, everyone makes mistakes.
Yeah, but Return of the Living Dead rules.
Yeah,
Okay.
but his original script for that was a lot less comical. Which I would
Return
have
of the
liked,
Living Dead?
yeah, which I'd have liked to seen how that movie got made as opposed
Right.
to like the campy goofiness.
Well,
Which
did
was
John
also
Russo
good.
also do the remake, the 90s?
No, that's Tom Savini.
Oh, I'm so dumb. You're right. Yeah, that's right. It's Tom Savini.
Yeah.
So
Insert shade comment here.
yeah,
I know. I failed you all.
It was so terrible.
I failed you.
Go wrestle a penis.
whoa, whoa.
That's true. I said that wrong since you are the penis.
I am the penis.
I have a
wrestle
question.
myself.
Speaking of zombies,
Yes,
that leads us into the next bit of news.
yes.
Recently on Walking Dead, they build. I don't watch this show anymore. I gave up a long time ago. But you didn't. You've never given up on this show. And
I
I
love
admire
zombies.
you for that. But my question for you is this. Recently they advertised that Rick Grimes was going to be playing in his last episode. Like this was the great big finale for Rick Grimes. And then they get to that episode. And then they
And he
announce
doesn't
that he's
die.
going to be in 3 movies on his own. 3 movies. Not 1 movie, but there's going to be 3 Rick Grimes movies. How did you feel about that marketing ploy? How do you feel about Rick Grimes? And what do you think, like, the movies? How do you feel about all this?
Wait, what? What are the movies?
There's going to be 3 Rick Grimes movies.
What?
Like based on that character.
Grimes.
The ending. I mean, I was under the impression like he's totally gonna be dead, and that's why he's leaving. Like, character's gone, dead. Which, spoiler, he didn't die. He just got taken somewhere else. I mean, who knows? Maybe he was dead, but apparently, I guess if he's going to be doing some movies based on that character's not dead.
It would be fun if the movies were basically a weekends at Bernie's.
So he
Right.
dies in the movies?
Well,
Dies in
no.
the third one.
No,
No, I don't know.
who knows?
Who knows?
So he gets taken in this helicopter, right?
Yeah, he's
To
still
the-
he's
to
still
the-
living to
To
movie
the
town.
movie set.
Movie town.
to movie town. To
Uh,
make these movies.
I mean, technically, they're not lying. It's his last episodes in the series.
Yeah.
He's gone now.
So I think he's gonna die in the third one then.
Well, I mean,
So I mean,
who knows?
Yeah.
so I guess it wasn't they were accurate in saying this is his last episodes.
You're not pissed though. You didn't feel like you were. I saw some conversations in some of the horror.
I kind of
forums
like
that were
this
like
idea.
That they were kind of pissed.
I'm kind of with it.
That they
I mean-
were like, this is the end for Rick Grimes. Then it was like, no, it's not.
Just the end on the show, guys. Yeah, I mean, I was like, oh, all right, I didn't see that going. I thought he was gonna be dead, but
As a horror fan that doesn't watch Walking Dead, I don't care. But I wanted to know that if somebody who's been hanging in there, if you cared.
yeah,
You don't. You were fine.
yeah. I mean, whatever.
And you're going to watch the movies.
I don't know.
Rick Grimes in Still Living.
See, I came into this like I didn't read the comic at all.
See, that's I find really interesting that you've never read the comic.
Yeah. I just like all the old like EC.
Maybe that's why he still watches it.
Like, you know, like the old horror comics. Like
Touché.
they were cool, but I just never really. I was way more when I was into comic books. I was way more into like X-Men and mutants as opposed to that. Like I liked watching the movies, not necessarily reading horror comics.
Right.
Like they were cool, but my attention was way more on
See, I always loved horror
superheroes.
Myself, but yeah, totally understand.
So when I started watching it, I'm like, oh yeah, and then I would, you know, search around and get a little more familiar with the comic book. But I don't know. I was never a big fan of that character on the TV show.
Right.
I found it a little. I mean, I'm sure it was slightly different in the comic book as opposed to his.
Huh.
You know,
Okay.
the way he did it. So I don't know if I'm gonna be all about a Rick Grimes movie, but that's, you know,
Okay.
they're doing some interesting things with the TV show. You know, again, in the comic book, Carl was supposed to be the new badass
Yes.
after Rick dies,
Right.
but they were like, which I kind of get why they did that, because they're like, okay, everyone knows what the fuck is going on with the comic book, so we have to do something different. So they kill, you know, they get rid of those two, and now it's the youngest kid, Judith, is like obviously the new badass in town, or they're setting her up to be, which I guess is cool. You know, throw the curveball. But from what I've heard and have read up on, like Carl was a real badass in the comic books, which I kind of would have liked to have seen that on the show.
I think the actor got over it too. Like he was just kind of.
Yeah.
Well.
So. Yeah, whatever. You know.
I'm curious if any of you guys out there have an opinion on this. You should let us know. I'm actually curious what people think. I'm actually surprised that, knowing the things that Screamin E doesn't like, that he's hung into this show this long, because I've heard that there's been some pile shit seasons.
He
There has
is
been.
committed though.
Yeah.
There has been, but I mean, it's like, hey, as long as there's some zombies getting killed,
Yeah.
I'm in it.
All right. Well,
I don't invest too much into it. Like, oh man, the characters, like
you don't care about that.
Glenn got killed, so I was happy. I'm like, yes, fuck that guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I never liked that character.
Interesting. You're one of the few that I think felt that way.
Yeah.
Or maybe not so the character as much as the portrayal of the character from the actor.
All right.
So.
All right. Well, I have one last bit of horror news on top of that, and I want to see what you guys think of this. Do you guys know about the Hellboy remake that's coming out?
No.
So you know about the Hellboy movies,
Yeah.
right? So they, Guillermo del Toro, and he wanted to make a third Hellboy movie, but it was Ron Perlman who had played Hellboy, but they rejected it. The studio rejected it and gave the green light to Neil Marshall, who is doing a Hellboy reboot starring David Harbour, the sheriff from Stranger Things.
Wait, he's Hellboy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they both look like.
Do you want to see what he looks like?
Yeah, and I remember what he looks like. I just wrestled him.
David Harbour. That's what he looks like in the movie. For those of you at home, Google it. David Harbour, Hellboy.
Nice.
And you'll see it if you haven't seen it already.
Nice.
Okay.
Looks great.
So, this is happening, and everybody's trying to be like, okay, and we've been hearing like, oh no, this version is going to be even more faithful to the comic.
Good.
Which is great. A great comic. But apparently, as of this recording, it recently did a test screening, and it did not go well. The audience members in attendance at the test screening for the film says the reactions were pretty bad.
This is Universal?
I forget who's actually putting it out.
I just don't see the point.
Because Universal be sucking dick.
Apparently, David Harbour was pretty decent in the film, but the dialogue, villain, and story seem to be lacking. Now, test screenings are for this purpose. They figure out what they need to reshoot But I'm curious, I was just curious to see how everyone felt. If that made anybody feel weird that it didn't go well, and it's kind of rough. But I guess Hellboy creator Mike Mignola helped write the film script. So, and he said he was excited about it, but apparently there was some problems.
I don't understand the point.
It stars Ian McShane as Professor Broom, Mila Jovovich as Nimue, the Blood Queen, Sasha Lane as Alice Monaghan, Daniel Day Kim as Ben Damino, and Penelope Mitchell as Ganeda, a witch that's decided the Blood Queen's wrath has gone on for too long. The film is about Hellboy going to England, where he must defeat Nimue, the Merlin's consort, and the Blood Queen, and their battle will bring about the end of the world, a fate that Hellboy desperately wants to turn away. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't think that's needed.
Yeah.
I would have just much rather saw a third Hellboy.
I was pretty happy. I mean, I thought that the second Hellboy was better than the first Hellboy, but I liked the first Hellboy a lot. But it felt like they were finally getting to a point where they could make sense of the story. Like, it felt like the first one, you could tell that Guillermo del Toro was trying to play the game with the studio and trying to make this film the way they wanted it, and like was being kind of held back. And in the second one, you could tell he had a lot more freedom because the last one did well. Mm-hmm. So I was really shocked that they didn't give him a third one. And I thought Ron Perlman did a really good job.
Yeah, I mean he's Hellboy. After you go through 2, I mean you're Hellboy pretty much.
Hellboy no more.
Yes.
Movie will hit theaters April 12th next year, 2019.
It's bullshit.
But that's what's going on. So,
all right then.
Speaking of remakes, that's it for horror news, and it's time for the main subject, or remakes, continuances,
whatever, direct sequels. Not the sequel that came directly after. Wow, Shotzi. God, right here on the microphone, huh? You gotta talk into that.
Sorry.
Okay, so that's it for horror news, and now we're into horror news about... We're going to talk about Halloween.
Halloween.
So we've been looking forward to this. I told you guys about this quite a while ago, and you guys were stoked. Danny McBride was involved in writing this movie.
But
yeah,
was
buddy.
he really?
Apparently he was.
Was he really?
That's what it says. He's claiming responsibility.
Okay.
How did you guys feel about the movie?
It's cool.
Thank you for coming to Monster Candy Podcast. We'll see you next time. Cue rolling. Wow.
I thought there were some good kills.
There were some good kills.
I liked it.
Yeah?
Overall, yeah.
Overall? You seem kind of shocked you liked it. Did you expect not to?
No, I expected to like it more than I liked it.
Oh, so you just thought it was okay.
No, I just thought I was really, really gonna like it. Like, I thought I was gonna like it more than I liked the new It.
Ah.
But,
Boo, scary clown.
Yeah, Boo, scary clown. Mm-hmm.
Alright.
But,
So you seem not over or under, you just seem whelmed.
Yeah. There's some good kills. What bothered me?
What about you, Ian?
What do you
I thought Neil Gamby did a good movie. It's Danny McBride from Principles. Principles is an awesome TV show. If anyone's never seen it before, Neil Gamby rules. It was cool. It was I wasn't over or under.
Really?
I was whelmed. I mean, it was like I was like, oh yeah, okay, this seems like a legit movie. Mm-hmm. So
I enjoyed it. It's how I would describe it was that if the original Halloween was Alien, this is Aliens. Where it's not so much of like, just as Alien was a suspense horror in space, Aliens was more of an action film. This felt like more of a suspense action rather than horror.
Yeah.
So it definitely embraces the concept that John Carpenter had put forth in the first movie.
Yeah, it was that was my one issue with it, was that it was a little more on the action side.
It was.
As opposed, but I mean, they're what was it? Halloween 4. All the ones after the first two have been pretty action. Well, taking out Season of the Witch.
Ooh.
Right.
They were all been pretty
actiony.
Yeah.
Little
Let's shoot them up.
films,
A lot of guns and everything.
But I thought this really did feel like a proper sequel to the original. Like you could own, I don't own anything other than the original Halloween. My little brother, that I talk about a lot on this show, who loves horror, loves Halloween, he owns every single movie.
Really?
All the versions. And he owns every single mask that has come out that they've ever made. Every official mask. Some are better, some are worse, except for the newest one, which I guarantee he'll get.
Well, that one definitely looks better than a bunch of them.
Yeah, for sure. But I felt like it felt real. It felt like connected. It felt like it was. I felt like I was in the same town. I love the fact they use the same fonts in this. I mean, John Carpenter really nailed the soundtrack. It was a fantastic soundtrack.
Throwback.
It definitely felt like. See, I hate when they say like a direct sequel. Yeah. Because
it's 40 years later.
Well, that too. Problem? So you know what I mean. So I mean, it's not a direct. It's just like that could have been Halloween 4. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that.
It seems like it was everything that Halloween H2O or H2O was trying to be. Right. This was.
So it was definitely entertaining. Good kills. As
favorite kill.
And that one, I know which one you're gonna say.
What am I gonna say? What you think?
I think you're gonna say where he hits the chick's head off the couch and then through her neck.
Yeah, man.
See?
Yeah, man.
That was a good one.
There's this great sequence. That's part of that really great sequence where I felt like they were trying to drive home John Carpenter's original vision for the Shape, where he just doesn't care. It's just all opportunity.
It was brutal.
Yeah, he just house to house to house to house.
Favorite kill?
Favorite kill? I don't know if I have one. Probably the babysitter. The whole sequence. Her fight, because she fought back, and I was I liked her, and I was like, come on, you can do this. And then, no, she didn't. And I actually even thought, because the kid and her interactions,
how did he kill her?
She slipped on the floor, and then he dragged her in. And...
Mine, like yours, Shotzi, it's probably my favorite. But since you took that one, I'm gonna say where he crushes the doctor's head.
Skull,
that one was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
That was pretty brutal.
He got Lumi right in his dome.
But going off of what you just said with the babysitter and the kid, okay, I have a real problem now with movies lately introducing and getting people invested in characters that don't go anywhere. Like, okay, well, she died, so she's dead. But the kid just disappears.
Yeah, they didn't really finish out, like, obviously because they got the call on the domestic disturbance, so obviously the kid got to the next door.
Right. Yeah, he got away.
Well, he stole every scene he was in. He was really great. And then if you're going to have somebody that great...
Well, that was a big personality in those scenes.
He was making up most of his lines. Yeah. Now I'm sitting here and cutting my nasty ass toenails.
So,
he was so great.
If you're going to have a kid, or just anybody, kid, adult, whatever, in a movie that just kind of disappears, then you don't really give them a lot of dialogue or... like memorable dialogue, right? If they're just gonna disappear, I'm like, what?
Jabril Nantambu.
He was the only comic relief that I enjoyed. The rest I thought was super cheesy, and just pushed, her fat friend that was dressed as the
the dude,
the dude, yeah. His sequence was a little pointless. I just didn't care about him enough.
Yeah, and he was talking about guacamole, and I was just not behind it. I was like, this is not funny.
That whole scene seemed forced because it's
it was super cheesy.
I don't know. Yeah, it seemed a little forced. But the kid was amazing. I thought the little kid was great. I liked the babysitter actress more than I think I liked the portrayal
daughter,
of the granddaughter.
Yeah,
Me too.
She was okay, but she didn't stand out to me. I love Judy Greer in this. Karen, Julie
Fern Mayo.
Yeah, no, I mean her and Archer and everything. I'm just a big fan of hers. No voice, but and I mean she has my favorite scene in the movie is her climax. You know,
when she's like faking it, then she gets
struggling.
him.
Sounds like a fucking porno plot right here. I
When
love
she's
her climax.
faking
She's
it, the
faking
climax.
it, and he's
And
No,
it's
but I
just
like how
wait.
you know I was like, there's all this talk about how badass she is, and then the moment that climactic moment where she just proves it, it's pretty sweet. It's like gotcha.
Which brings me to another point that kept me whelmed. Okay. There's so many guns in that little fucking...
But she picked up a Dinky 22.
That... Well, I get that because that was like her gun.
That was obviously her gun.
You know what I mean? But it's like, okay, you got all these people here. Arm everybody the fuck up.
Exactly.
Like, there's only one way he's coming down. So, like, everyone needs a gun.
Well, her daughter wasn't really prepared in that way, clearly.
I don't care, man.
You'd be like, yo, this is the trigger.
You fucking pull. Just don't point it at me. Just point it out there when you see him. Just shoot, you know?
Right.
So, you know.
I will say, before I get into things I loved, another thing I didn't like is Dr. Sartain, the new Dr. Loomis, and that whole plot of him kind of fantasizing.
Fucking hated that.
Did you hate that? I didn't
hated
hate
it.
that at all. I didn't like that.
Stupid.
It seemed like too much of a stretch.
I thought it was gonna go to some weird thing because I thought Michael was dead. And I was like, oh god, is he gonna put the mask on and then he becomes Michael for the rest of the movie?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's lame. Like he turned crazy because he was with Michael for all these years, you know?
And that's the one I had trouble with, you know?
Yeah,
That
I
he would
think
be
it
like,
was a kind of pointless subplot.
Him killing the cop.
Yeah, it was
The
a
sheriff?
pointless subplot that lasted about 2 seconds
Officer
and then
Hawkins.
he got his
Smushed.
head
He got his
smushed
head
in.
smushed.
Yeah.
Okay.
There definitely could have been a way better way that they chose to get Michael Myers to wherever he needed to be.
Right.
Than
That,
that.
I mean, literally the whole device, all it did in the script was get him to Laurie's house.
Yeah,
And there's other ways to have done that.
right.
I mean, Michael's clever. He would figure out.
Yeah.
But things I did like. I thought the portrayal of Michael Myers was the best since the original Michael Myers was portrayed in any movie. I thought that was dead on perfect.
It was what's his name, wasn't it?
Well, it was Nick Castle, but it was also James Jude Courtney who also did it. I thought he was amazing. I thought Judy Greer was amazing. I thought Jamie Lee Curtis was awesome.
Yeah.
I thought she did a really good job with the traumatized Laurie
She
Strode.
was sick.
Being
Right.
fucked up.
Like when she was drinking, watching him getting transported, and how she got back with the family, she just falls apart. But then she could rally and be a badass. How she could be shitty, but then also like moments of kind. I thought they really showed somebody, and it was one of the best things I thought was also when the babysitter friend's boyfriend, whose name I can't remember, Ray? No, what was it? I don't know. Dave.
I don't know.
Dave.
He looked like he should have been in Bush.
Well,
Or no.
when he
that
goes,
was the other dude.
he says at one point, well, I mean, he killed like 5 people. I mean, that's terrible, but compared to things now, like, what's so scary about that? And I love that the whole theme of this movie was people going, anyone who actually dealt with Michael Myers, dealt with the shape, was like, no, you don't fucking understand. He killed 5 people, yes, but he will kill you and everything he can get his hands on if you give him a half a second.
God,
and then
yeah.
when he did show up, he was able to his kill count went from 5 to like, how many people did he end up killing? Like, it was like over 20 now at the end of this movie. I mean, he just killed anything he got his hands on.
Yeah,
and they
that
were
was a
kept
lot.
trying to say, like, he is so frightening, you don't understand. Like, even encountering him emotionally scars you because he is just so empty. And I thought that was pretty rad.
Goddamn millennials don't get it. I don't care who you are. When someone's in your neighborhood is killing 5 people.
So I went to Halloween Horror Nights, and
So did I. I wonder where you got the idea for that.
And I went through the Halloween 4 house.
Haunted house in Orlando.
And
we both did this not at the same time because she doesn't really love me as a friend, but whatever.
And I legit thought I was gonna die.
That's the one that got you so much?
Dude, I was so scared.
Because she was
all
high
the other
again.
ones, I was like laughing, having a good time.
Right.
But in Halloween, I was legit freaking out.
Really?
Yes.
I did not
Michael Myers creeped me out.
Mm.
They were coming through with the knife, and he kept popping up everywhere. And I was like, wow, one of these are going to be fucking real, and they're just going to stab me right in the face.
No one will help you because of the open
And
part
yeah,
of the thing.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was terrified.
That's interesting.
I was like, get me out of here. Let's go.
The
Come
one
on,
that
I'm
got
done.
me jumps was the Seed of Destruction. It's the one that I don't know if you remember. It was all.
I didn't.
That's what they call
It was all
it's called
plant-wise. It was like an apocalypse that was taken over by plants after an asteroid landed.
Oh, that's cool.
So there were all these people camouflaged. So you'd walk up to this like giant thing of bushes, and all of a sudden this monster would come out with like a fungus face, and it just like, "Rah!" And it was like
It's like
you
Stephen
could
King.
not see him coming. Yeah.
Yeah.
You couldn't see anybody coming. They just pop out. I love that one, but
Poltergeist was my favorite.
Poltergeist.
Yes.
You know what one I didn't like?
What?
Well, Happy Death Day was great. They did a Blumhouse one. It was Happy Death Day and The Purge. And as long as it was a Happy Death Day, that was awesome because it was just baby faces jumping out at you and kids. Yeah. And the way they did it is they'd repeat it. So you guys saw Happy Death Day.
Yeah, I love that movie.
We should do one on that because that's a really good movie.
I love it.
And it's got a sequel coming out.
Yeah, I'm excited for the sequel.
Me too. But the way they did the house, did you go? You obviously didn't go into the Blumhouse haunted house.
No, I didn't.
Okay, so you go through it and it goes through like it goes through like the day. It starts in you walk through college, then you get to the dorm room.
Now I'm
then you
sad.
get to the college, then you get to the dorm room. And they kept bringing you back to the dorm room over and over and over again.
I thought I hit all the main ones.
And so then there's like dead girls jumping out at you and the babyface mask killer. But then you get to Purge.
Lame.
Well, then you get to these streets. It's all these bad streets, and then it's just a bunch of black dudes jumping out at you and menacing you. And I was like, really? Is this is it? Like, because there's so many cool masks in Purge, but it was really just like dudes coming out and mugging you with their fists up. And I was like, I started kind of laughing because I was like, I don't know if you know how tone deaf this is. This is like, not that I'm trying to be overly politically correct. It was just like, wow, this might be scary to somebody from like somebody that's really about making America great again. Not to be weird, but like for those of us who grew up in cities and have lots of friends, this is just silly.
So it was obviously just about the last one, not the other purges.
Mm-hmm. It was just dudes jumping out that all happened to be black, and it was really inappropriate.
Oh boy.
Lame.
That
was the only misstep though. Everything else I really enjoyed.
Okay.
Well, those movies all sucked anyway, so par for the course.
Yeah.
No, Happy Death Day rule.
No, all the Purge movies.
Yeah, Purge sucks.
I didn't really like the Purge movies. Not thinking about Purge, but there's movies that everybody's like super stoked on, and I'm like I
don't get it.
I didn't hate, but I mildly
No, I hated it.
was okay with the first one, and then they kept flogging it to death.
Hated it.
Yeah, I was not into.
I watched them all, but I hated them all.
I only watched the first one, and that was enough.
First one, I was like, this is dumb.
You know what I just found out when we were coming to this about bringing it back to Halloween? I was shocked to find out that throughout the film, the girl's dad refers to her boyfriend Cameron's dad, Lonnie, as being such a bad boy and like a bully. It's like, oh, I used to get in trouble with this guy's...
Drop acid with him.
Yeah, and all this stuff. Well, it turns out I didn't realize that Lonnie is literally the 6th grade kid who's bullying the boy Lori babysits.
Yeah, I did not pick up on that.
I didn't either. That was such... that's one thing also I was impressed with this movie. It really tied in everything from the first movie any way it could in subtle, constant, little moments. Even the trick-or-treaters from Season of the Witch, the masks, There's all sorts
Oh
of
yeah,
references.
I loved that.
Yeah, there's also the clown. I saw a clown trick-or-treater, obviously, like
Yes.
Danielle Harris's character, which I thought was a little funny that she was trying to be in this movie and didn't even quite get in this movie because they weren't even interested. But I was like, She was kind of mean to me when I met her. I'm sure she's nice to somebody out there. But I was like, oh, you didn't get in this movie? Well, how about that? Too bad for you. You know. I mean, you know, she's no Amanda Pierce, but...
Your favorite.
You know, I still feel bad about...
Shit talking? Do you? Do you really? Deep down, do you really?
I'm sure she's a wonderful person. I just didn't enjoy her in Fright Night. I just didn't. I'm sorry. But, yeah. I was stoked about the soundtrack of this movie. There's a lot I loved about this movie, man. I think I was kind of in.
Well, I like how they... It seemed like they did a lot of paying homage to, you know, past events and
things and everything.
Yeah.
I have a question for you guys. Did you notice this before? I know I keep bringing up stuff, but let me ask you guys: why did Dave, boyfriend of the babysitter girl,
yes,
whose name was Vicky, I think, because Lord knows I'm the best with names. Why did he get a Halloween tattoo? What was the point of that, other than to get dry fucked?
I don't know.
They never said.
Never.
This is going to be the best night of our lives. And she got so stoked that he got that tattoo.
Yeah,
and
it was like, we're going to dry hump.
Yeah,
like,
and
what?
I was like... Oh.
He got a tattoo because this is the first time y'all dry hump? I don't get it.
I didn't get that at all. Like, I was wondering if I missed something. And I've seen the movie twice.
I thought maybe it was supposed to be that's the night they were going to do it.
Yeah, but they didn't.
They didn't.
Yeah, I know. That was I was like, eh. And then I just stopped caring.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I just, that was the, I mean, I was fine with that. Maybe things got cut out.
Yeah, I'm confused.
They were trimming it, and maybe a couple things got
really
trimmed
confusing.
where, like, maybe that kid getting to the neighbor's house, maybe why they got a tattoo.
Yeah, I don't know. But I wonder why they didn't put this movie out on Halloween.
Oh, because... Funny you should ask, Screamin E.
Right.
It's because October 19th is actually Michael Myers' birthday.
Look at that.
Really?
And that's why they decided, let's put it out on October 19th on Michael Myers' birthday.
That's interesting. I did not know that. But then again, I don't pay as much attention to the sequels that came after this movie as I did the original movie. You know what I was also thinking about? I really like the Rob Zombie Halloweens. I'm sorry. I know everybody's not into them now, but I like them.
No.
I think they're the best.
The best thing about any of them was
all the nudity.
Danielle Harris.
What? Danielle Harris?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she is in it. That's right.
Her titties are all over that.
That's right.
No disrespect, Danielle, but you're hot, so.
She was not nice to me.
She still got some nice ass titties.
She's dead to me. It's not nice.
Sad.
You're not nice to your fans. You're not nice to people. I mean, she wasn't bad, but if you're not gonna be like super nice, you know, when like somebody comes up to you and like, hey, we're at a convention. I'm supposed to talk to you and tell you how nice you are, and you're just kind of like, yeah, thanks. I'm gonna be like, well, fine.
Yeah.
You're lame.
Never met her, so I can't say.
Yeah, I just stare at her from afar.
It's not like your, Daryl Dixon situation, but I just didn't find her very nice. Personally.
I heard that Elvira's like that too.
She was nice to me.
Okay.
Yeah, she didn't have to be nice to me. She was nice to me. So.
Well, I just heard that like she's nice to girls, but not nice to men.
Oh, she was really nice to me. But I think
good.
maybe you have to not be a dick.
Maybe.
Just be like super polite.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah.
I was very polite. And
She
told
has
her,
sweet boobs too.
Yes, she does. They're that mouse.
Yeah, mouse pad
that we never got.
Speaking of Elvira, so I wrestled at this horror convention, Halloween weekend, and Elvira was there, and apparently there was supposed to be these, like, special exclusive Elvira Funko Pops that were coming out.
Actually, I heard about those.
At the convention. And apparently people waited in line for like 9 hours to get these Funko Pops. But the guy who was running the convention knew that the Funko Pops weren't coming since like the Wednesday before, and just didn't say anything. And just let these people stay in line for like 9 hours.
What the fuck is wrong with that?
Yeah, right? So like there was like apparently, this is what I heard because I was wrestling. Apparently during my wrestling show, outside, there was a bunch of riots going on over these Funko Pops.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Insane.
So, because it's hard to talk about a movie that you guys liked but didn't love, and I loved, but, you know, there's like, we can't all agree. Like, that's why we keep deviating off subject, is this movie's like, it's really hard, like, it wasn't terrible, it was great, but, you know, how great you feel is how great you feel about it. But, so that's easy to talk about. But one thing that fucking drives me crazy, and it's to your story's point, when I went to Comic-Con, and I don't know if I told you guys this off podcast or if I've ever mentioned this on podcast, but while I was at Comic-Con, I went to this last year, a friend of mine, who's a fan of my band, was nice enough to offer me an extra ticket for one day. So I went down to San Diego and I went to this convention. And it's really like an entertainment expo built on the bones of a convention. But here's the thing. I realize where toxic fans come from. I realize where people who turn on stuff come from. Because you have this convention, and many like it, in situations just you described, where you take these fans and you go, pay this much money and you get this extra special shit. Yeah. Wait in line this long. And you get this extra special stuff. Yeah. The actor's going to sit there and sign stuff. We're going to have a super limited Q&A. We're going to tell you everything about it. Here's this $3,000 fucking model that you can have. And these people love this stuff, whether it's Star Wars or Halloween or Elvira or name a brand, whatever it is. Yeah. And they're taught that they put in all this, they put in money and time and effort, and they collect and they stand in line, they talk about this thing, and they love this thing, and they debate about this thing, and we create these brands that make them super passionate about it. And then you fuck it up and they get mad at you, and you wonder why they get mad at you when they've invested thousands of dollars, hundreds of hours in time, they've talked about it with their friends, they own the shirt, they're into this shit, they're into it. And then if you don't execute it correctly and they criticize you and get mad and they lash out at you, we sit there and everyone's like, oh, these toxic fans, like everybody's out of control, where they come from. But if you make people sit in line for 9 hours...
Dude, if I waited for 9 hours for this fucking Funko Pop and didn't fucking get it because there wasn't any, and you told me there fucking was...
You'd lose your mind.
Yes, I fucking would. I'd shit right in the middle of that fucking convention.
Well, see, I think that's the kind of behavior that has created a toxic fan. When people are like, oh, why are people lashing out on stuff? Because they passionately are taught to care about something, and then when you shit all over the thing that they love, they're going to let you know.
Because you wait in line for 4 hours in 100-degree weather with no shade.
I mean, I realize that this thing, first off, I love me some Elvira. And I like Funko Pops. I have 2. But fuck waiting in line for 9 hours for anything.
No.
Yeah.
But no offense to the people. If you're listening and you did that, hey, I get you. I realize that I am not a fan. I'm just into things. I thought I was a fan of things. I thought I was a fan of horror. Nah, I'm just into horror. These people are fans.
They are.
They sit in line and they invest and they're into it. And I'm not judging or hating. I get it now when I never used to get it before. So it's like somebody's going to walk away from that convention and go, this is fucking bullshit. I sat there and waited and I didn't get the Elvira. And you know what? They have every right to be pissed. They were told to wait. We've trained them to wait in line for hours for shit.
Yeah.
They waited in line. They did their part. And then they got fucked over. And I'm like, people. That's how I feel like there's a certain type of marketing people or convention people or something that are thinking in this line this way. And if you're going to mobilize fans and make them dedicated super fans, you have to listen to them when they get pissed. They own it. They're more invested than you are. For you, this is just a job to make this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And to walk away and then make your next movie. But for them, it's part of their lifestyle. And now you're like, oh, you're just all fat lame asses, because you didn't
sorry,
like
nerds.
my vision.
Yeah, sorry,
you know what
nerds.
I mean? Yeah, exactly. And like they're like, oh, what is this? This such hostility. And it's like, you made them hostile.
Yep.
Tell us how you really feel, Dom.
I'm just saying, I haven't been able to make this observation. You hear about all these poor bastards stuck in line for 9 hours for a goddamn Funko Pop makes me bummed out for them. And I'm not saying they're bad, like, that this is, I'm not going, whoa, I'm just realizing that I am not into that, like, they are.
That level.
I don't do that. Like, I went to this, and Mondo told me, like, I waited in this one line to get this poster, and then I got there, and they're like, oh, that's the wrong line, you need to be in that line, and I was like, oh, well, you can get fucked.
Yeah.
And I walked away, because fuck that poster, and fuck everything. And then I came back later, and I found a different poster I liked, but I was like, you guys are crazy. I'm not going to go wait in that line for 20 minutes to go wait in that line for another hour or 2 hours or goddamn know however long I'm supposed to. It's all ridiculous. I'm sorry. But, like, if you love it, more power to you. It looks super fun, but I can't get into it like that.
Let's bring this back to Halloween.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean,
Come on!
same thing. Like, they're big fans, but they were generally pretty happy with this movie, it seems.
I didn't like, at the end, spoiler.
Yeah.
Okay, if you waited 40 fucking years, or however long it was since, to kill Michael Myers, you're just gonna sit there and let him burn?
Well, it does hurt.
As you're looking at him? Yeah, but you should want him dead. There should be double tapping all over the place.
Did they have another gun? Were they able to...
They had guns up there. Yeah, they could have. Yeah, my problem is, like, I didn't buy the computer-generated swords that shot across to lock him into the basement. Like, I saw the handle there. To me, it should have been a grate. Like they should have slammed it shut on him, Like, it could have been everything else without the computer effects to lock him in. They could have had, like, a little gate built in that slides out from under the floor along the thing. She pulls the handle, opens it up, and then slides it shut on him, and it just locks him in. Without the computer effects of these weird spring-loaded swords that were embedded in the wood that shot across, because I was like, no.
Yeah, it was a little weird.
That was a little unrealistic. Everything else was pretty realistic.
But he's just standing there, so you just unload everything on him until he's a fucking stain on the floor. Like, just like, all right, you're locked in here, because it's not like you've ever escaped anywhere before. And obviously you get shot and stabbed and everything, and you still live.
Well, supposedly they're making a sequel.
Right. Yeah. Well, obviously
so they're leading to that.
That's
I'm curious
why.
How they're gonna explain that.
The original ending was a lot more obvious. That like, oh, okay, he's coming back.
Yeah. He looked down and he's.
Yeah, they changed the ending, right?
They did.
The original
they did.
Planned ending. What was the original planned ending?
The original ending, he gets shot with an arrow and then just wanders off into the woods and sits by a tree, and then I guess the ending credits show up, and you just assume that he slumps down, and you think he died.
Well, are we at that time?
I think so.
Okay.
Is there any more information about the Halloweens?
There's lots of information, but we did covered a lot of it before.
Yeah, like how this was supposed to be a back-to-back two-parter.
It was supposed to be 2 movies?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Uh-huh.
Did they talk about where they divided, or just said that they were supposed to be 2 movies?
No, it didn't say. They just decided that to just cram it all into one.
I see why John Carpenter got behind it. I see why he read it and went, okay, you guys get it. I'm into it. I'll do music for you.
Thought it was a totally suitable sequel.
Is it superior to the original Halloween?
No, because Laurie Strode's such a Ripley, like such a badass. So you're like expecting her to be the badass.
Right.
Whereas the first one, it's like, what the fuck? Oh my god, I'm this random teenage girl who's now in a position that she has to defend herself and the kid she's babysitting from this killer that for some reason is like focused on her.
Yeah.
So
like I almost wish that Michael focused more of his attention on the granddaughter, just so it would have been more of that like young, dumb teenage girl versus Michael.
You think so? Because I think that they probably would have known that everybody just wanted to see Jamie Lee Curtis, and the rest of it was window dressing.
Yeah.
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 But
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and Laurie Strode was a badass. I did like the parallel scene where she gets thrown out of the building and she's laying on the ground and then he like looks away and then he looks back
that was
and
cool.
She's gone. I was like, yeah.
That was a cool little kickback.
I didn't like the Happy Halloween, Michael. That I didn't like. That was a cheesy line.
Yeah.
The weird little light that just lit up her face for a second before she kicks his ass. I would have liked it if she just jumped out and started whooping his ass. That said, how does it stack up against any of the other Halloween sequels? I would say it's pretty high. I think it's second only to the first.
Sure.
Makes the most logic.
Yes.
Yeah, the second one was weird. It was a little weird. Like they were just kind of
forced.
Yeah, trying to bank on the popularity of the first one.
Well, this seems more like loved.
Yeah.
And this plot could have been a sequel when they were younger. They could have done this kind of a story where he gets out, kills a lot more people. Totally. She's going to be way more try and face
prepared,
him. And she's traumatized. Like, you could have done this with a young Jamie Lee Curtis, and this could have been a really, with Dr. Loomis.
Yeah, who was like training for 2 years or whatever.
Yeah, like if there was a little bit more here.
Yeah.
There should have been some Activia placement in this fucking movie.
You know, I really... Before we end it, I gotta say, I really did love the opening scene to this movie. With the podcast documentary. Because Jamie Lee Curtis said that reading that scene, she said when she first sat down and read the script, when she read that scene, when they present the mask to Michael and how all the mental patients go crazy and dogs start barking. Like, she was like, she kind of knew, like, oh, I'm probably gonna do this. But, like, that scene was awesome. And I liked the naivete and the ego of the podcasters. You know, they just didn't get it. No, but how could you? How would you get it? And I liked the whole sequence at the gas station. I thought that was excellent.
Yeah. Well, were they even alive when that happened? No, they don't get it.
Yeah. No, they just treated it like nobody gets it. Like, I love that nobody gets it. Like, from a modern sensibility, they're like, he just killed 5 people. I mean, yeah, that sucks, but like, whatever. And everyone's like, you have no idea what you're dealing with. He will eat you. And use your spine as a Stairmaster.
I feel like there should have been more teenagers getting killed.
Surprisingly few. A little disappointed Conrad, the boyfriend, the drunken boyfriend, was not killed. He just sort of disappeared.
He's the one that looks like he was
But the guacamole guy got killed.
Yeah.
He should have lived and boyfriend should have been axed.
I would have seen both those guys gone. Like, I didn't mind any of that. I was disappointed that the babysitter girl died, but I figured out she was the PJ Souls of this movie.
Yeah,
definitely.
Great cameo by PJ Souls that maybe not everyone caught. I like that segue.
Yeah.
You like that segue? How about that in? She was the teacher voice that was not on screen. Like when the granddaughter is in class and she looks out the window and sees her grandmother, Laurie Strode, out on the street staring at her. And the next scene, Laurie Strode gives her the money she got from the podcast. The voice of the teacher is PJ Souls.
Yeah, I didn't catch that either.
Yeah.
She was like, rock, 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 rock and roll high school.
I'm sure she does that most of the time so people know just to give context.
And then I'm like, hey, did you wish Dee Dee a happy birthday? She's like, who?
Who?
I'm like,
dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was terrible.
Ouch.
Yeah, I know. I was like,
that really happened?
That really happened.
Monsterpalooza.
We met PJ Soul. It was the Monsterpalooza we saw you at.
Yeah.
She
was there.
Yeah.
She didn't recognize.
No, she's like, Dee Dee who?
Like, that's like partially what put her on the map. I mean, I understand if you're not like a Ramones fan, like maybe you're not.
Right.
But like,
if you're,
but you rocked out with the Ramones, like you should know.
Yeah, if you're pretty related to Ramones, anything like
that haunts you.
Yes, but you would think like, who else at a convention would come up and bring up the name Dee Dee?
Well, I also feel like there's certain movies she did that made her pretty well known and popular and famous, and And I would think that if one is based around your love of a particular band, even if it's not your real life love, you would know for the names of that band, especially if that they're a seminal American rock and roll punk rock band. But whatever.
If for the last 30 some odd years you've been making money off of that, you'd probably be like, anytime someone says Joey, naturally you'd think Joey Ramone.
Well,
Johnny
Ramone.
Ramone.
I wouldn't necessarily expect her to name all their songs and have all their albums, but I would expect her to know
their names.
The names of you were in a movie related to that. So she's probably, if she was to listen to our podcast, she'd probably be like, "Come on, guys, it was a long day. I was really tired. All right."
Probably, but still,
but at the same time, that is a little.
It's Dave Ramone.
Yeah.
Come on. Anyway, so yeah, okay.
Yeah. So I'll start. 4. I give a 4 zombie, cute little zombie candy corns. 4. I think it's solid. I think it's awesome. I don't think it's perfect. A few things are, but I did love it, and I've watched it twice, and I enjoyed it the second time even more because I noticed more hidden Easter eggs and stuff. So I really enjoyed it.
Shotzi Blackheart.
3.
Okay. It's respectable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know what? How I rate my shit?
How you rate it, girl?
So like at the top of my list. At the top of my list of movies, you know what the perfect movie is?
What?
The Thing.
And how they stack up to that?
Yeah.
So it's how they stack up to The Thing, which is a perfect movie.
Gotcha, girl.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, girl.
So.
Yeah.
But now that I think about it, now that I'm really thinking about it, it's a 0 then, because it's nowhere close to being as good as The Thing.
But it's a solid sequel, and I think that should give points. And I think everybody's
I
portrayal was pretty good. There was a couple loose threads. That
just kidding. I just started doing that scale system with The
Thing.
Just
52 fake out, motherfucker.
But I think I'm not going to anymore because it's not really. It's
impossible.
Out. Everything would just be 0 then compared to it.
I feel you.
I'm trying to think if there's any really good horror movies that line up, modern, that would line up with The Thing.
None. 0.
We all agreed that was our favorite from the 80s.
It's the best.
No, it's not my favorite.
It was not your
Yours
favorite.
Yours is Night of the Creeps.
No.
Most of us agreed.
Monster Squad.
Yeah.
Yours is Monster Squad.
Which isn't really. It's more like a movie about horror than a horror movie. But I love me some Monster Squad. Don't get me wrong. But you and I agreed The Thing was...
Yes, The Thing. It's a perfect movie.
Right. My voice is getting deeper as this
Me
podcast
too.
goes.
Good.
Okay, so 3. You're 3.
3.
I'm 4.
I'd say 3, too.
Yeah?
Yeah. There's
3, 2,
3.2.
3, 2.
2.
1. And a 3 as well. Solid. Could have been better. But...
Like
good.
Devil's Rejects 2, 3 from now.
Yes.
All right.
Bringing it back.
So that's where we stand, everybody.
Wait, what was yours?
It's a good movie.
3.
3, 2.
3. Okay. 3, 2.
I think it's worth seeing. It's a solid movie. It's not going to take the place of the original, but it's a damn good sequel.
I agree.
Yeah. So thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed the discussion. And we'll drip moisturizing cream onto a piece of paper. That's what she's doing as we end this. That's awkward. I need an adult. That's it. We're done. You say anything?
Suck my watermelon. Stab my watermelon.
I did not know you were saying watermelon.
Stab my watermelon.
Okay.
Wait.
But
did you know that in the original Halloween...
Psych! We ain't done yet, suckers!
Did you know that in the original Halloween, the stabbing noises that they used was a knife stabbing a watermelon? So, suck my watermelon. Guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that.